I'm so excited. Let's start book fourth. It is called Recalled to the Light. Chapter 34. Kill 'em even if they's already dead. Reader, did you not forget about our small mouse, did you? Back to the light. That was what Gregory whispered to him when he wrapped despereaux in his napkin and placed him on the tray. And then Meg, after her conversation with Russ Girl, carried the tray into the kitchen, and when she saw Cook, she shouted, "It's me, Miggery Sal, back from the deep downs." "How lovely," said Cook. Ain't we all relieved?" Meg put the tray on the counter. Here," said Cook. "Your duties aren't done. You must clear it." "How's that?" shouted Meg. "You must clear the tray," shouted Cook. She reached over and took hold of the napkin and gave it a good shake, and despereaux tumbled out of the napkin and landed right directly into a measuring cup full of oil. Plop. "Ah!" said Cook. "A mouse in my kitchen, in my cooking oil, in my measuring cup. You, Meg, kill him directly." Meg bent her head and looked at the mouse slowly sinking to the bottom of the glass cup. "Poor little Missy," she said. She stuck her hand into the oil and pulled him out by his tail. Despereaux, gasping and blinking and coughing at the bright light, could have wept with joy at his rescue, but he was not given time to cry. "Kill him!" shouted Cook. "Gore!" said Meg. "All right." Holding Despereaux by the tail, she went for the kitchen knife, but the mouse tail, covered as it was in oil, was slick and difficult to hold onto, and Meg, in reaching for the knife, loosened her grip and Despereaux fell to the floor. Meg looked down at the little bundle of brown fur. "Gore," she said, "and that killed him for sure." Kill him even if he's already dead," shouted Cook. "That's my philosophy with mice. If they're alive, kill them. If they're dead, kill them. That way you can be certain of having yourself a dead mouse, which is the only kind of mouse to have. That's some good philosophy, that is. Kill him, even if he's already dead." "Hurry, you cauliflower-eared fool," shouted Cook. "Hurry!" Despereaux lifted his head from the floor. The afternoon sun was shining through the large kitchen windows. He had time to think how miraculous the light was, and then it disappeared, and Miggery's face loomed into view. She studied him, breathing through her mouth. "Little Missy," she said, "ain't you going to skedaddle?" Despereaux looked for a long moment into Meg's small concerned eyes, and then there came a blinding flash, and the sound of metal moving through the air as Meg brought down the kitchen knife. Down, down, down. Despereaux felt a very intense pain in his hindquarters. He leapt up and into action. Reader, he scurried. He scurried like a professional mouse. He zigged to the left. He zagged to the right. "Gore!" shouted Meg. "Missed him!" "Ain't that a surprise?" said Cook just as Despereaux scurried under a crack in the pantry door. "I got the little Missy's tail, though," she said. She bent over and picked up Despereaux's tail and held it up, proudly displaying it to Cook. "So?" shouted Cook. "What good will that do us when the rest of him disappeared into the pantry?" "I don't know," said Meg, and she braced herself as Cook advanced upon her, intending to give her a good clout to the ear. "I don't know." Chapter 35. The Knight in Shining Armor. Despereaux was pondering the reverse of that question. He was wondering what he would do with his tail. Despereaux was wondering not what he would do with his tail, but what he would do without it. He was sitting on a bag of flour high atop a shelf in the pantry, crying for what he had lost. The pain in his hindquarters was intense, and he wept because of it. But he also cried because he was happy. He was out of the dungeon. He had been recalled to life. His rescue had happened just in time for him to save the Princess P from the terrible fate that Rat had planned for her. So Despereaux wept with joy and with pain and with gratitude. He wept with exhaustion and despair and hope. He wept with all the emotions a young small mouse who has been sent to his death and then delivered from it in time to save his beloved cannot feel. Reader, the mouse wept. And then he lay down on the sack of flour and slept. Outside the castle, the sun set and the stars came out one by one, and then they disappeared and gave way to the rising sun, and still Despereaux slept. And while he slept, he dreamt. He dreamt of the stained glass windows and the dark of the dungeon. In Despereaux's dream, the light came to life, brilliant and glorious, in the shape of a knight swinging a sword. The knight fought the darkness. And the dark took many shapes. First the dark was his mother, uttering phrases in French, and then the dark became his father beating the drum. The dark was Furlough wearing a black hood and shaking his head no. And the dark became a huge rat smiling a smile that was evil and sharp. The dark, Despereaux cried, turning his head to the left. The light, he murmured, turning his head to the right. He called out to the knight. He shouted, "Who are you? Will you save me?" But the knight did not answer him. "Tell me who you are," Despereaux shouted. The knight stopped swinging his sword. He looked at Despereaux. "You know me," he said. "No," said Despereaux, "I don't." "You do," said the knight. He slowly took the armor off his head and revealed nothing. No one. The suit of armor was empty. "No, oh no," said Despereaux. "There is no knight in shining armor. It's all just make-believe, like happily ever after." And in his sleep, reader, the small mouse began to cry. That is the end of those chapters. I really hope things turn out good for Despereaux. Poor little mouse has so much sadness. Soon he should get his happiness, I hope.